Yo, what's going on? Jason here from SmartHelping.com. It's another week. We have got another upgrade to do. The robotic kiosk 3-year financial model. Now, this is going to be fairly difficult. I'll get into it in a second. First, let's go through some updates. Let me send a link over to Twitter really quick. Shoot. Uh, Where is the link? The live link. Let's get in here. Do a test, do a test. Okay, that's good. Live modeling now. Um, so I had a little schedule here. Okay, so the model we're doing today is the kiosk model. It's part of the whole thing I've been doing this since January, which is adding a 3-statement model, cap table, and doing some general upgrades to all the startup models. Which most of the startup models you'll see either on the industry specific tab here. The kiosk one that we're doing today and tomorrow is this one. And then the other ones would be the SaaS templates. And most of these are already upgraded. There's only a couple left to do. And then everything else on the site is more of a financial calculator or cash flow waterfall or something for accounting. Keep in mind, you can check out all financial models um, at the financial models tab at the top of smarthelping.com, and you can buy in bulk. Based on these color code keys, you can get 5 mid levels for a discount, 10 mid levels. The discounts just go up as the volume goes up. You can buy intermediate, upper tier, ultra, or you can buy all the templates on the site for $9.99. It's super valuable. All this logic I've been doing for the past 6 years is super valuable for so many different business logic and use cases. Note, last week I updated this, so now I'm showing the top 50 templates by purchase volume, and this is automated through Google Sheets. And you can see where we are. We've upgraded all the startup models up to right here. So this is the one we're doing now. And then we'll be doing, we did the security monitoring service last week. We'll be doing food truck, a general rental business. That'll be a tough one. And then down the line, janitorial cleaning, enterprise SaaS. Lending business already has one built for it. So we're working our way down from most popular to least, getting all these upgraded. Note that last week I also did a SaaS pricing simulator, which is a brand new template. Really cool visuals here, and just a nice template to figure out. If you run a SaaS business, you want this template. It's only $45, and you can run all kinds of analysis on your retention rates, contract lengths, pricing, acquisition costs, running service contract costs, margins per customers, LTV, CAC, LTV to CAC. Um, just you can just play with all these variables and do a lot of analysis to figure out what's optimal pricing for you, what kind of margins you want to see, and also for sensitivities if you want to isolate a variable. So that was awesome. I'm excited that I got that out last week. This week we probably won't do any additional I don't know, maybe if I come across something, but really I just want to focus on getting this kiosk model updated, and that's what we're doing today. Uh, what else? So this. Oh, also on the site, let's go through a couple more updates. So I added an inventory template bundle at the top for $99 that includes all the templates regarding inventory. I'm surprised. I don't know why I didn't do this before because the inventory restocking and cash flow planning is the most popular template on the site, and the tracking for multiple locations is up there too. This one. So it's got a lot of very popular tools. Um, and I figured, well, why don't I have a bundle for this? So we added that at the top, and I might be looking to do some more inventory stuff because it's just so popular and useful um, for building helpful tools in Excel for inventory. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video. Those are free ways to help me out, and we're gonna get into the model now. So the main issue is going to be in when I port over all the templates, the startup costs here in expansion, this needs to be, these are essentially depreciation items. Same with this. And I'm probably going to have to wipe this out. And then the expansion is just going to be the initial, it's going to be called the Kiosk deployment schedule. And there's going to be up to 5 expansions you can do. You can put the date, the count you're deploying, and then the cost. Let's see, we're going to have to put in some logic for the cost. And I'm going to have to fix things because I'm sure things are breaking right now on the main model. So this is going to be deployment schedule costs per unit. And there's just going to be a couple things like this I'm going to have to update as we go along here. But this is for like a Froyo kiosk or any kind of robotic kiosk where you're charging a fee, it costs you money to deploy the items. You have to restock the restocking costs based on the count and the cost to restock. Um, yeah, we're gonna have some updates here for sure. So you put in cost per unit, whatever it might be. Just put a number in here, and then this needs to be this times this. Oh wait, we don't need this one either. So that times the count. The year, I don't really need this. I guess that's fine though. We can just keep that there. Let's remove all this grid lines. We're gonna do better grid lines as well. For now, let's just leave it like this. We can definitely, we'll do yep, we'll delete this. So deployment schedule, up to 5 expansions, count, cost per unit, total cost. We could sum up this as well. To get the total deployment count and total cost over time. So this was going to flow to our normal CapEx schedule, and then on that I'll have to put some separators where we've got like the building. If there's going to be a building, there's probably not going to be a building, but I put that there as default. And then all these expansions will go to the next 5 slots, and then there's I think another extra 9 or 8 slots that you can put in for whatever else that might be CapEx. I just want to leave this intact because there's logic pulling from this and going over to the main model. It's already broken now though, for sure. Yeah, it's all broken. So I'll have to fix all this, which is fine, expected. I'm gonna pull from, let's see, do we need inventory? Do we need to mess with inventory, or is it just essentially going to be the resupply? The cost of goods sold is essentially going to be bought and used in the same month. With this, it's pretty fast moving. I don't think you would buy inventory to restock and keep it anywhere, so I don't think we need to deal with any inventory. It's just whenever you refill, you go buy the stuff and put it in. Now, if we were doing a vending machine, which is different, and I did build a vending machine model, it's going to be more complex because you can't have things that are going to sit there and act as inventory in your. Well, you might have inventory that you're going to deploy in there, but you could have things that don't go bad that quickly, so you might be able to hold them for months, multiple months. In this, we don't need to worry about it. So I think I can use a base template. Let's see which one probably is good. Probably just a base one. Let's just do I think the base mobile app was actually, this one had everything pretty generic. The global control will have to do a couple things, but not much. And then this has got the CapEx. We're going to use this type of schedule for what I just talked about. And everything else I think we'd be good with. All right, so first part of this integration is I've got a bunch of tabs here. Index, instructions. We're not going to need instructions. I'll do an overview video that explains everything that's available with the template. Let's just start changing the tabs, add in tabs that aren't here, so when we import the logic, we don't have any errors. Let's change the color of this. This is too dark of a yellow. We want light yellow. Then once I get all that in, we're going to do formatting updates across the board and just see how far we get. We're going to have to fix all the stuff that's being broken here. Global control, debt schedule. We want, let's see, CapEx, startup costs, cap table, income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, and then annual of each of those. That. And then distributions 1 is going to be a new tab. This financial summary is basically the executive summary that we normally do. I kind of like the formatting of this as well, so we'll keep this working like it does. Some more visuals. Let's see, distributions 1. This discounted cash flow probably, yeah, this is not going to be even used. We could delete that. We'll have more advanced stuff for discounted cash flow analysis. Validation 1, distributions 1, executive. Okay, I think we got everything. So cap X, cap table. Now this template was more popular when I first built it, and I think I built it in 2017, late 17, maybe early 18, and then it really hasn't been as popular as say the ATM or the vending machine templates that have more recently been built. But the logic here is unique, and I think there is value here, so we're gonna upgrade it. Let's see. Then we have income statement monthly, statement annual, balance sheet monthly, balance sheet annual, and cash flow statement monthly. And annual. What am I missing? Debt, CapEx, and these will be a different color. Put all the assumptions up front, and then you see the income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, and then it'll be the distributions, and we gotta change the name of these. This will be monthly detail and annual detail. We did do a sensitivity on this, so you can adjust what do we do it based on velocity, average. So this, let's think here. I might update. So the revenue logic might need to update. I don't mind this front tab kind of, this is actually kind of nice. We'll keep this. But let's think here on the revenue. The base revenue, I'm putting average daily sales count per tier. So there's up to 3 tiers essentially that you can sell, or 3 different products. Their average price in the sales per day, which can only update each year. Now, I probably, and I've done a lot more advanced revenue logic around the idea of capacity scaling, saying basically, okay, the max capacity an actual kiosk can do in a given, let's say a given day or something, is X, and then you essentially work up to that some percentage of that max capacity, and that's going to drive how many sales you're doing. And it's very likely you'll never do the maximum, but maybe some percentage of that over time based on how popular it is and a bunch of different metrics. So we can say starting max capacity is X, and then it starts at percentage attained, and then the percentage increase. Now the question is, if you do a new deployment, if we deploy more vending machines in the future, do they restart at the base capacity attainment and then grow, or do they start at the whatever we're at in the timeline? In my opinion, it would be a new spot, so we're just going to define a capacity, and there's only 5 expansions actually, so we can just define them each separately. So what I would do is on this deployment schedule, we'll do logic that says what's the maximum daily sales that a machine can literally do, and what percentage of that are you attaining over time? And I think that's better, a lot better than what is going on here. So we're actually going to clear this out. This will no longer be relevant. I'll keep it for reference actually for now, but it'll be removed in the end. And then we really won't need this sensitivity because it's going to be driven by the percentages in this, so we can get rid of this, which is nice because then I can just import the entire global control tab, which will make this just better in general. All right, so that's good. Update this real quick. Let's make sure this is working, so it pays for every 6 months. Okay, good. All right, am I ready to import? So yeah, this is going to be all new logic. We're basically rebuilding all the revenue logic, which is fine. Now the running costs. What are we defining here? Cost per month per person to refill. And then what's your labor count? Now this needs to be defined against. All right, so we'll have to do more advanced logic here. We're going to say the count of labor needed for a given capacity range, something like that. And then so over time, that ratio will just be used as a reference to figure out on average how much labor we're going to need and what's that cost per month per labor. And then that'll be multiplied by the amount of kiosk, the count of kiosks that exist over time. And then these are just other monthly costs. So this is like a fixed cost schedule where you define the start month of each fixed cost. These would be the things like just general administrative legal stuff. We did put in average repair and maintenance. So these are variable costs, electricity and average repair and maintenance. This is the monthly cost per kiosk. And you can adjust it per year. So that's fine. That can stay. These can stay just fixed costs. All this logic is fine. We'll have to update some of this logic. And then, like I said, we're gonna make this variable in the resupply. So we got a lot of improvements we're gonna be making, and it's gonna be quite a bit. All right, I think I'm ready to import. Let's import and then try to start fixing as much stuff as we can in formatting. So global control will be all of this. CapEx is an important one. Cap table. And you'll see the trick or little thing I used to update all these links so they're not referencing the import source sheet. Oh, terminal value, that's the tab I needed. Oops. So we'll get that in there. These need to be first. Deployment schedule, running costs, and revenue. These are more wrapped summaries. All right, and then income statement. Let's get all these financial statements in. And it's just a 3-year model, which is fine. I could update it to 5-year and just drag some of these assumptions over. Just thinking if how much disruption that might charge. I have to update these for 5. I think we'll keep it 3, and I'll just cut off this because 3 years fine. Really, as a starter model, 3 years is fine for figuring out operations and how you're gonna, the economics of unit economics of the whole system, and then scaling out from there. Income statement annual, cash flow or balance sheet. And really what these interconnected financial statements are is one giant sanity check as well as just formal summaries that people in accounting would understand or people in finance would understand if they saw it. So it's more to just give a report of what you think your business will do in a standard format. We're also going to bring in distribution schedule. Contribution distributions. Now, the executive summary, this is fine. I'm just going to keep this like it is. I've had pretty good feedback on it, so that's fine for this. All right. Well, let's what do we want to do first? Let's format the new tabs that are incoming. Now remember the cap table is to see if you're going to raise money from investors or if you're going to raise money yourself, you want to define, what's the shares everyone gets, or what's their ownership share of everything. So you can go through this and define it all for all relevant outside, up to 20 slots for outside and 20 slots for insiders, employees. And your scale, it'll depend on how big the operation is if you need to all this, but it's there if you do. All right, this is good. Update, update, update. All right, and let's do the financial statements real quick. So here I always go, remove grid lines, freeze the relevant rows and columns, and then go 15 wide on the columns. Is pretty good formatting for what I see. Now, yes, we are only going to need 3 years, so we can clear that off. Let's do the balance sheet. Balance sheet annual. It's crazy all the different things I've improved in the past or from doing these older templates. And it's fun to upgrade them because it's like, you're getting a real, it's satisfying to do that. Now all the logic's dynamic, so there should be no issues ending it in 3 months rather than, or 3 years instead of 5. No real logic should need updated as being imported at all. All right, we're getting there. Okay, so let's just go one tab at a time. So this is revenue or deployment. We're going to have up to 5 expansions, and then each expansion, this year does not matter anymore. We're going to do more advanced summary formulas in the monthly detail as well, so we don't need that. Let's think. So we have the month, the amount you're adding, the cost per unit, total cost. Let's say it was like 10, 15, and like 25. We'll update this year. Oh, so we got to update the validation tab real quick. This needs to equal our start month here. Then we got 21, so it's 3 total years. Perfect. Okay. And if you just, let's say we wanted this to be 2022, make sure you go through the model and update your drop-down dates accordingly. Let's say we're going to expand every couple months. All right, so we've got these expansions happening, the date, the count, the cost. What we want to define is what's their maximum daily capacity. And there's going to be 3, we have 3 essentially priced products that can be sold. And so in this original logic, what did I do? I said the capacity of each type individually. So if we translated that over to this, we could say, let's think about this. This is a little tricky. We could say, okay, so we expand these 10 units. Each unit has 3 product types. Type 1, 2, and 3. And do we just put this over here? And then we say for expansion 1, type 1, 2, and 3 cost X, Y, and Z, etc. Let's see if we just do this. So let's give it a little bit more granularity than the original template. Let's say type 1, whatever you buy is $3. This is 6, 8. Also, what did I do? I think I did cost of goods sold. Percentage of total revenue. Okay. So you got, up to 6 different ingredients and total cost of goods sold. Did I granulate down to, what did I do here? Total revenue times each one. Okay, so we just kind of averaged it out. So there's no relation between, say, no topping fruit, 2 toppings. There's no relation between those counts sold and the cost of goods sold. Exactly. It's just saying out of the total revenue of all the things sold, your average cost of goods sold for these different ingredients is X, Y, Z. So that is fine. So what we're doing is we're probably not going to even have this. Tab, and this is just going to go all into the deployment stuff. All right, so let's think. So this is the pricing for each expansion unit. It could be different, it could be the same. Each unit is going to sell up to 3 different things at these different prices. And then we have to define now for a given unit, what's the, so we have this again, product types, product pricing, and then we have max capacity, which is going to say what is the maximum number sold, max units sold per day. And then we can do another thing down here, like operating days per month on average. You might not operate every day, you might operate 24/7. The highest this could be would be every day of the year, which would be on average 30.41 days a month. We could just put say 30, or maybe you're shut down for a resupply a couple days, months. Maybe it's 28. Whatever the number is, it could be every day of the year or some lower number. So we have max units sold per day, essentially saying you can only sell 8 of type 1 units, maybe can't be 8, let's say 25, 9, not 9 still doesn't make sense. Let's say 35, and let's say 100. We're just gonna make these all the same, but it could be different. So each kiosk can do 25 units. Put a divider here. Each kiosk can do 25 units a day max of type 1, 35 type 2, 100 of type 3. This is the pricing on each. And then we do another section. Uh, Starting capacity attained. Let's say of 25, maybe you start with 10% of all this. So per day, that's how much you're actually selling. And then we do average monthly improvement of sales. And that's just going to be against capacity maximum. Let's put in dividers here. All right. Dang it. And then this is going to be, you can actually define these. And then this will be equal to that. All right, so whatever you're selling, this is the price. Here's the maximum that a given kiosk can ever do in a single day. Here's your starting capacity attained of that maximum, and here's the improvement. Let's say it's, it's going to be some low number. Maybe per month you improve by, 2%, which would mean capacity attained at 10. Next month would be 12, next month 14, etc. And then for each type, for each one, we also want to do a final maximum. What you think the stabilized expected maximum stabilized sales attained percentage of max units sold per day. And maybe you think it's possible that with the market and everything you can get 90% per day. And then you'll see all the units sold and all that's going to populate based on all this logic. So we've got a lot of new logic here. I think it's better though. And maybe it makes the model maybe more wide, gives it a wider reach of what it's useful for. we'll see. Alrighty. So this is all got to be built out with logic. Oh, let's give this a border. Starting capacity, average monthly improvement, 2. And this could be a decimal. And then it'll go up by 2% per month until it hits this ratio or stabilized amount. What's going to be difficult now is I have to build a matrix that shows these 5 different expansions and what month is it in their age, because I have to apply these percentages dynamically, and it's, these could all be at the same month and the start month, but also it could be in the future. Like if you want to scale out every 6 months adding some, then I have to be able to account for variances, or the amount of the age that a given kiosk has been in existence for, to figure out where it is in its capacity attainment. Cost of goods sold is fine. So this is just, you've got up to, we could add some more here. It doesn't matter. Extra slot. And whatever it is, it's just going to be derived from a total of the total revenue based on what's happening here. It's going to get multiplied by this percentage cost of goods sold, whatever that might be. So if I sold, or let's say I sold $80,000 worth of product in a month, it's going to assume 20,000 of that were my cost components of whatever I'm selling. So cost to buy the ingredients for what, like the yogurt or whatever is in the kiosk. So that's a variable cost. I'm going to get rid of this blue and just go gray with black. And let's change the fonts here. Okay. So that's one tab done, and that's going to require some work. Running costs. Let's just update some formatting here. Let's clear all the grid lines. So we are keeping this and this. This is going to be a ratio. And it's going to say, this is not going to be needed, resupply labor count required per 1 kiosk. So let's say if it's 0.1, then that means you could do 10 kiosks with 1 person. And it means we don't need these extra columns here. The fixed monthly cost can stay, that's fine. This ratio is going to be the big one, it's important. I'll give it 2 decimals. If you were to put 5 here, then it would mean you need 5 people to just manage a single kiosk. If you were to do half, it means you need two, or one person can handle two. Um, we'll put a little calculation here. Essentially, this is just 1 divided by whatever this is. It could say kiosks handled per single laborer. Let's say if it was 0.1, then it'll be 10. If it's 0.05, it's 20, meaning you need only one person for every 20. And then what we'll do is divide that by, or divide the amount of kiosks by this, or multiply it by this. So if there was, let's say, 100 kiosks, then we would need, and every one person can handle 20, we would need that times that, which is 5. So we get our count needed by this logic right there. The monthly cost per person is here. This is not relevant. So these are just all fixed now. And that actually simplifies what we had and improves it. None of these really need to be bold. This could be. These are just fixed costs. All right, so that is separate. This is variable costs. We don't need this. I'll just put variable costs. I'll do a space. Fixed costs. Alrighty. Shoot. These are variable as well, because these are per unit. So let's move that. Honestly, this is not even relevant. We don't need this. We don't need this either. So there's that variable. These are just cost per unit. That's easy. These are just regular fixed costs, whatever it might be. So anything, so these are arbitrary costs. These need to be labeled that, and this is all relevant labeling. Okay. All right, this looks good. So that's good. This is good. Base revenue is just irrelevant. Debt schedule. Let's see. We'll have to update this logic if global control terminal value equals yes. Then take the end month. Otherwise, NA. And all that's saying is if we have a defined end month, or terminal value, is if we say yes for terminal value included, then any debt that exists is paid off on the end month. And then I put terms here. This is all going to be input. update the formatting there. That's fine. Say 5% interest rate. Term is 30 years. Payments for year 12. All right, and then finally, for that debt schedule, we got to put in this logic string right here. And hopefully it's the same positioning. Perfect. So there you can see we're ending, well, hold on. This actually needs to be updated as well. So if we're ending December 2024, our end month is 136, and any remaining amount is paid off, and we're zeroed out there. If we were to hit no on this, then this just runs like normal. And you can update the inputs on it right here. If you're going to take on debt. Now, if you don't, you can just zero this out. No debt, that's fine. If you're raising all the initial costs with equity, and this just zeroes out. We'll put it in there for now. Put this back to yes. Oh man, we got a lot of work. So deployment schedule. Let's make these in yellow. So you define your product types up to 3. Running cost, debt. These are all good. Good, good. Okay, well that's awesome. Now all we have to do is update the monthly detail to make sense of this new logic and add matrix schedules. It's going to be a bit of a long one today, I believe. So we got a couple of viewers in here and there. Nice. All right, well let's keep going. All right, so matrix scheduling. We'll have to do a new tab. Oh, I forgot. I haven't even done the find and replace yet. Let's do that. So we want to replace all of the occurrences of the old workbook we imported all this logic from to blank. Oh, on the whole workbook. Oh no. Okay, so that means there's an error somewhere. Undo. Undo. So somewhere we're referencing a tab name that's on the import workbook that's not on here. And I don't know what it is. Let's see, global control. Terminal values on here. Monthly detail. Distributions, executive summary. Everything has to match distributions. Spelling. Let's see if it stops us on the thing. So if I go whole workbook, replace all, where's it stopping me at? Cap table? So all these are fine. Cap table. Here we go. Maybe something down here. Income statement, balance sheet, annual detail, executive summary, distributions one. Wait, all these are updated. Was it something? So it had to be something from CapEx? No, all these are updated. Cap table, executive summary, executive. Yeah, that's fine. Executive summary, whatever. Distributions. I'm trying to find where this had its glitch at. And this is usually doesn't take me too much time to get updated. What are we missing? And this is why I make sure all the import tabs have space in them, or else that find and replace won't work and I'll have to rebuild everything from scratch. But where did it mess up at? And it would mess up by basically picking a name that no longer exists in this workbook. Oh, startup costs. Perfect. Okay, so we can undo. So everything's back to how it was, and then I forgot to add a startup cost tab. Startup cost with an S. I'll keep this up for a second. And then import that in. And these would be like costs for legal fees, maybe a big marketing campaign, something that you're not already accounting for in your regular monthly costs or deployment schedules. Maybe a website design. All right. Now let's try it again. Replace all. What are we still missing? Now what's missing? Startup costs. Oh my goodness, I didn't put the S on somehow. S. All right, we try again. All right, 7,000 replacements. Perfect. So that's good. So we've got all our formulas updated. Let's update these annual dates. 1, 2, 3, and clear this. Delete. Okay. All right, that's fine for now. Let's see what else. Oh, the date. So start year. Timing is always the most important. There, 22. I don't need month and quarter on the annual summary. Okay, and this is going to be this number. merge. A lot of cleanup here. Lots and lots of cleanup. We're leaving this alone for now. Okay, these are fine. Okay. Yeah, let's do the matrix tab now, because this has got to be done before we can do anything with the monthly detail updates. So what I want to do is say, let's get our dates in here. So month number, actually month number, year number. So this is just an easy count, +1. The actual month is this. Date. Count ahead in months, and then year is just going to be a round up. C2 divided by 12. We got 3 years of time, 22, 3, and 24. Okay, and then the cohorts will be this expansion with a start date of this. And then, so this won't be too bad actually. So I just go, if this month equals this month, then 1, otherwise 0. Lock A5, lock C3. So here's our counting. And then we just go, so these will be either 0 or 1 in month 1, and then from there on I go, if we've started the count, so if this is greater than 0, then do this +1, otherwise do your initial formula. Now that logic right there I just did, and I'm dragging it over and automating it, is used in a lot of different ways for a lot of different uses. It's a very valuable logic. Now we have a dynamic schedule for the age. And why do we need to know the age? Because we need to know percentage capacity attained over time for each expansion. So now we go, now we need to do a schedule. So we could do this. This is always in month 1. We got to do this for 3 different ones as well. So capacity attained type 1. So you've got the expansion type, and then you've got type 1, 2, and 3 products you're selling out of each expansion cohort. And all I want to do is say if this equals 1, then pull. So expansion 1, type 1. Expansion 1 is here. Type 1 capacity attained is here. And expansion 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can let it go down, not over. So type 1, 2, and 3 are separate. So there's that. And then we say if it's greater than 1, then do the previous percentage plus whatever in column Q. So there's the initial. And then we say if B12 is greater than 0, then do B12 plus this percentage improvement. Otherwise, do that. And then we say this is the minimum between whatever this results in or our capacity, what we think the maximum we'll ever achieve is. Oh, come on. What do we got? If B12 is greater than 0, then B12 plus that. Otherwise, if C1 equals 1, then that. And this is now that. Okay, so can't do the date. We could do I guess we could also, the other logic check would be if C5 equals or is greater than 1, it means the same thing as the other logic test. See, now, so it grows by 2%. If we were to change this to say 1% for type, or sorry, let's say these are different numbers too, 20, and then let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. So for all the different expansions, we have some different inputs here. In theory, I should be able to drag this down across. So that starts there, going up 1%, this is going up 2, and it starts at 20 instead of 10. This is 30, and it's going up by 3, 40 going up by 4, 50 going up by 5, and then the maximum reached is, there's our maximums, 85, and this one doesn't ever get above 45%. Okay. So that's for type 1. So we just did all the logic for this type 1, and then we just multiply whatever that percentage is by this number for each expansion. Now there'll also be logic for the count that exists for each expansion over time, so we can do our correct revenue multipliers. So pretty elegant logic. It's going to fit together great. So that's good. Let's see, this is not input tab, this will be white. So there's the one. Let's go copy, paste, and now switch over one. So the expansion timing is the same, but now we want to do type 2. So we're going to go with O, R, and U. So N becomes O. Q becomes R. T becomes U. What am I referencing in B12? To add it up. Okay, so we do need that. Now these are all going by 2 and all starting at 10. Okay, and that makes sense. And for type 2, you can also define what's their max sales the kiosk can sell per day. And then we'll go one more over. Actually, let's lower this to make sure this is working. So 65, 60, okay, perfect. So that's working. Now we go one more down. For 3. And then for this, we move everything up 1. So R becomes S. O becomes P. And U is V. And otherwise, same logic. So percentage capacity attained. Here's the age. What else do we want to do? Units sold per cohort. This would just be actually, so we have to do each one separately. So type 1, type 2, type 3, and then we could sum up the total of type 1, 2, and 3 things being sold. Based on, so capacity attained times, or wait, cohort 1 is, type 1 is up here. This times this. So we've used all of the logic here already. This is all used. So now we have these two left to account for. So we want to count. We can't go over on that times that, and then we can drag it down. So the amount sold per day. And then that's just for a given unit or one kiosk, and then we'll multiply all of that by the count of units deployed for each expansion times this. So if there's 10, then you do this amount, all that logic times 10. So there's our total. So we get type 1 total sales, which we sum up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we're solving for here is total sales by type of product. So how many type 1 products are you selling? How many type 2 products are you selling? How many type 3 products are you selling? And we're summing those up over each expansion. So expansion 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here's how much you're selling out of type 1. Expansion 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, how much you're selling out of type 2. Update this to 2, and then same for type 3. And then we'll take that and multiply it by the price to get revenue. So we got this. Let's just get the formatting. Oop. Format. And again, we take these numbers here and apply it to here. Now we need to drag this down to these percentages. Also, though, we need to update. So this is K and E. So K and E. E stays the same. K moves to L and then to M. So we're at L. And drag this across So there's total units sold of part 2. And we're summing it up based on the expansions and the percentage of capacity it takes for a given expansion to reach these different levels. Okay, type 3, we now go, so K, L, this is going to be M. Wait, let me just do this. Move this down to here. L becomes M. And that's it. So they'll take this percentage times M6 times E6. M6 times amount deployed. Perfect. And now we can easily say, let's see. So we're saying potentially in each expansion we could do a different price. So now we do this with revenue. So this was units sold. This is going to be replace all of this. Units sold is going to be revenue. Now undo just in range. Okay. So to get this calculation, we do total sold for type 1 times price of that. Lock the column. Here's revenue. Oh, shoot. And this is per day. I need to update this per month. That's okay. For now, let's just assume we can update that after we do this final part. So revenue, units sold times revenue of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we go, first of all, update the formatting here. Now we go revenue 2 times, we want H4, we want I4. Write that down, and then here is this. So type 3 sold times, let's see, we're on HIJ4 now. Let's make sure that's right. J4, yep. So it's likely these prices will be the same, but maybe different areas, you'll have different pricing, so it's possible this could be different. Same with the max units and capacity and all that, so that's why all these could potentially be different. All right, now we got to fix this because units sold, this would be per day, right? 25 is the amount per day, and we're doing a monthly here. So I have to multiply all of these numbers and values by average operating days per month. Okay. So that's D11. This is times, same thing actually. I could just copy this. Now if we convert the unit count sold over, everything else below will update. So all I really have to do is drag these all over. And let's see, does that make sense? So 22,000 units. what is cohort type 3 expansion 1? Type 3 expansion 1 is at 90%, so that would be 90 times this is 2500. 2500 times unit count 25,200. Now what do I have? 22. Oh, because it only got to 80%. Didn't get to the full 90. So hold on, let's update that. Times 0.8. So 22.4 is the number. 22.4 is our number. Okay, so that's good. Logic is sound. And then the revenue is the same as it was before. Same logic because we updated a unit count. So here's the age, capacity attained, type 1, 2, 3, units sold, type 1, 2, 3, revenue, type 1, 2, and 3. So there's all we need for revenues. Let's expand these to row size, column 15. That's how much revenue we're making based on these assumptions. Okay. Put all these back down to 10. Oh wait, let me make sure that was starting at 50. Let's go to this real quick. 50, okay, good. And it's only for type 1. Yep, and the rest are 10, 10. Let's say 20, 15 for expansion 5. Perfect, 2015. Okay, so our logic looks pretty sound here. It looks like all the formulas are making sense. We'll just put like a bottom border just so you can kind of see the separation between each section. Move the grid lines. So you've got age, and then these here. Capacity, units sold, revenue. So we've built successfully out all this logic dynamically. We know revenue over time. What we don't have is unit count over time. That's going to be added. So let's try and figure this out real quick. So units added. I don't know what in the world I was doing with this crazy formula here, but we can simply go sum ifs deployment count here if this range equals this date. And that's sum ifs is so useful. So useful. So there's, oh wait, these are just, we could do units added, total units. Oh wait, we have that here, total unit count. Okay, that's fine. So there's our schedule. We get up to 60, which should match here. It does, good. Now, revenue per product size. Look at how easy this is going to be now that I did that matrix. I can simply go, here's type 1, whatever you want to call it. Here's type 2, type 3, and then revenue. We simply reference the matrix right here. We did all the work already. There it is, type 1, type 2, type 3 revenue. Done. Cost of goods sold already works fine. No updates needed. Oh wait, we did expand it. So down to 27. You know what? Let's go back to six count. A six count's fine. So 27 is good. Oh, wait a second. It should be starting at 16. 16, 17. Okay, so this got adjusted. Update that. So gross profit margin is just going to be 80% because we're defining it here as 20% over. However, we only go down to D21. So we don't need these extra. That's fine. Just resum this and we're good to go. Alrighty. That's good. Now we have variable and fixed expenses in here. So it's 11:30. I'm probably going to be done for the day. Let me just mark this as my spot. So we're going to come back tomorrow. We'll fix all the variable expenses. We'll update the annual tab, annual detail to match this. And then once that's all done, I can go in and do the income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, update all the relevant, anything else that needs it. Yeah, and what's nice is this is all driven off of, so this is all variable. These fixed costs, the fixed costs will have to add some logic to do the proper end month, but that's very easy. Expansion costs. This is essentially our capex, so this is going to be just expanded. This won't change. Startup cost is going to be different. It will be here though, so we'll clear this out, but it's going to be there. And we'll keep going. So this will be, I figure we'll probably be done on Wednesday with this, and I'm taking my time because I try to do a financial calculator or quick tool like last week was the SAS pricing calculator or simulator. And I probably will do one next week, but this week is just going to be this financial model, and we'll see how it goes tomorrow and Wednesday. So we'll save this. We'll keep going on it. Remember, this is existing in the industry-specific templates. It is right here. It's only a $45 one-time fee if you want to buy the whole templates. I mean, the value there is crazy for how much. That's just very affordable for all the value you're getting. Also, check out more industry-specific models. You can get the whole bundle for $4.99 and get all these templates here. A lot of different industries. We've got accounting tools, cash conversion cycle, discount pricing, inventory management, forecasting, cost of goods sold, HR tools, a lot of stuff in Google Sheets. And if you're in HR, these tools are just so helpful. Real estate models, specific, joint venture, cash flow waterfalls. Done a lot of work there. And again, you can buy all the templates on the site for $9.99. Super good deal. Don't forget, subscribe to the video. I will see you guys tomorrow. We're going to keep grinding on this template and finish it off, hopefully, probably Wednesday. In the overall like long-term outlook, I've probably got a total of 50 or 55 of these to do, and we're through about, this is I think number 20 or 21. So we're almost halfway. And then once that's done, I can start doing new startup models again. So, I mean, it'll probably take the rest of the year to do this, but I think it's worth it to improve the value of all these. And then in the meantime, I'll be doing this one-time, like one or two tab trackers or tools, because those don't take as much effort as a brand new starter model. Alrighty, take it easy.